Hello, and welcome to Hitchhiker's Guide to Humanity. Today we're talking about the state of the world right now. Okay, so this is going to apply a lot to the US because that is where I am located. But right now, the orange dictator is tearing down the East Wing of the White House. Unconstitutionally, by the way. Like, this isn't meant to, like, you need Congress approval to do shit like this. And there's a lot of people screaming like, how does he get away with this? How does he get away with this? Because he is stacked. That's how. He has, not him, let's be honest. His people have strategically put themselves in places, and he, I believe, has something on many people. Maybe it's the Epstein files, maybe it's something else. I don't know. But keep in mind, the government is shut down, which means he kind of gets free reign to do whatever the hell he wants because there is nothing happening with the government. And this was planned by them. All of this was planned. And a lot of people underestimated his base and his people because he is so moronic, as a person. But, and I'm not denying that, he's completely moronic and narcissistic and psychopathological, whatever you want to call it. But he has found a way to skirt a system that has been in place for, I don't know, 100 years. Let me see, 1900, more than 100 years. However old since 1776. And here's the thing, we need to revamp the Constitution anyway. Like, we really do. But I don't want to do it like this. I don't want him to take the Constitution and just like, I'm going to be president for 3 terms, fuck anybody else who doesn't care about that. Like, I don't want us to find out that way that everything is broke. I want some stuff to still be functional while we transition to this next phase. But who has the ability to change the Constitution? Like, if the checks and balances are literally gone, this guy is just doing what he wants. He's doing what he wants. If the checks and balances are gone, then how do we use that to our advantage? The freaking spineless Democrats won't fucking move because all they care about is doing things by the book, not losing certain things. Like, we need people to be like risky, to take some risks, to do some things outside of the normal rules, outside of the normal Constitution. We need that. We can't be sitting back and letting the government just do whatever the fuck they want while we still keep going like nothing's happening, while we still keep going and pay taxes and do normal things. And it's not, and I know that I'm screaming into a void at this point. Like, everybody I know feels this way, but they don't know what to do. Here's the thing. Here's what we need to do, and people have to be willing to do it as a group. Yes, the boycotts work, but we all have to be on board. Yes, the marches work, the protests, all of that. But what we really need to do is hit them where it really hurts. All of these functioning governmental federal things, we need to stop relying on them. And so that means opening up to your state, opening up to your community. It's going to take time to like disengage from the federal government. And it feels very Star Wars to me, like it's really bizarre how this imitates things going on. And when there are no rules, remember, there's no rules for us either. If he's breaking the rules where he is and his people are breaking the rules, we can too. We can break the rules. There will be consequences. I will not deny that. If you just let your credit, your credit score go, you don't pay taxes, you don't pay credit card, there will be consequences. There will be things you won't be able to do based on the current structure. I'm not going to deny that. And it is risky as fuck. But the less that you depend on these institutions, the more that I feel this is so strange. I feel like I'm living in a movie. Do you ever feel that? Like in this moment, I'm living in a movie and I'm talking about all this conspiracy bullshit and I feel like I'm the insane one, but I'm not insane. Like this is really happening. This revolution is happening before our eyes. There is no denying it. He's going to try to stay another term, which is literally illegal and it is unconstitutional. He is literally tearing down the White House to make a ballroom. He's literally giving $40 billion of our fucking money to another country, and he won't say why. These are facts. The revolution is here. And if you are not a part of it, and I don't mean like, it's important, yes, for you to show up and to do your part and to boycott and to not shop at certain places and stuff. I get that. And I get that it's also a privileged take to be able to do that because there are people who can't afford to not live by the rules. That's what they want. They know that. They have broken us down to our itty bitty, smallest people sized, nervous system that we have. And they have broke us down. And they want us broken down. They want us so tired from working 5 jobs to pay their fucking taxes that are more, that we pay more taxes than the billionaires. So, I mean, everybody knows that. It's a fact. And yet it's like people can't integrate that into their being because they want to keep something routine. They don't want to change. And I get that. Humans hate change. I will say it over and over again. But honey, knock, knock, knock. Change is here and you have to move forward. We have to move forward. We cannot do the status quo anymore. We cannot look the other way. Some of us, I've went through stages through this revolution. There are different stages. There's like, my cat. It's okay. I hear you. I hear you. I'll be done soon. I have to comfort her because for 1 millisecond of the day, she's not right by my side. Okay. I lost my train of thought. Hold on. I have to go back and listen. Okay. I remember what I was saying. I was talking about my different stages of me going through this revolution. Right. So the first stage, I was like, okay, this isn't as bad as it seems. We do need to break down everything and rebuild it. So, let's just go with it. And then I went through a stage of where I was like, I'm a spiritual person. I'm going to try to use my energy to focus and see if I can work with it that way. Or, all the while I'm working to boycott things. I'm doing what I can to speak out, use my voice online as best I can. Don't have a huge following, but I have something. So I'm going to use it, right? And around this time, I was starting to discover the spiritual to alt-right pipeline and being very surprised by that because in no way, shape, or form have I ever been in any way identifying with alt-right anything. And so I started to examine like how that was possible. Spirituality at its core is not about anything alt-right. It really isn't. And I can't say that because spirituality is whatever you think it is, whatever you feel it is, whatever you want it to be, because we are free beings, right? But for me, spirituality is about believing in something higher than yourself, something better than your existence, something different, something that's pure, something more pure than here, right? And so if that's the case, you would want fellow humans to not suffer. You would want fellow humans to be seen as human and not objects and not things to throw away or to, not care about. And it boggles my mind when I hear people think of humans as not human. Like, I hate, with the burning passion of 1,000 suns, the orange dictator. I hate him. But he is human. So what I do is I look at him as a human being. I know that he has trauma in his past. Does that mean I agree with anything he does? No. But does it mean that I can understand his behavior? Yes, it does. Why else would I be learning about somatic healing and trauma-informed care if I didn't believe every human had this core within them? And so if you start to see people as human and not objects, not this something on the other side, you start to see how everything really does function at its core. And how you don't want people starving. I believe that most people don't want this. So why is it still happening? Because to get everybody in one mindset is near impossible. We're trying as a human race, we are trying to get to this point. And that's the purpose of this revolution, is to get to this point where we care about humans more than money and power. And this is the great, revolution of that. Pluto and Aquarius energy. That is what this is. Aquarius is about technology and innovation and the people. It is the sign of the people rising up. It's a beautiful sign. And Pluto being in there, the transformation planet, the one that's going to death and rebirth you until you have, what you need, that's going to be there for what is it? I think it's almost 20 years. I'm pretty sure 18 years or something. It's a long time. Pluto takes a long time. And so I'm not saying that we're going to be suffering this whole time. Hell no. This is the transition, though. This is the make or break moment. Are you going to sit back and try to think things are just going to go without any action? Or are you going to actually do the few things that it will take? Even just boycotting, recognizing, knowing about things like November 25th to December 2nd, there is a nationwide blackout. No spending money, no nothing. So don't do that. It's literally do everything before that date and you can do stuff after. But those days, nothing. You stay in your home, you watch A Christmas Story 5 times, you watch Christmas Vacation, Scrooged, whatever you want. Or, pick your holiday movie. The Family Stone, that's a good one because RIP, Diane. So that is not a hard thing to do. And it will make a huge impact. But we all have to do it. And that's the hard part. That's the hard part of all of this. It really doesn't take much. But you need to stay informed. I myself cannot go to marches alone. I have social anxiety. It's extreme. I would say I'm on the verge of agoraphobic in some ways. And that has happened over several years. I'm an empath, so I feel every emotion. It's really difficult for me. I don't like to admit it because I want to be there. I want to make pretty signs. I want to be there. But I know myself. And I know maybe if I had somebody else to go with, right, then I might show up, but on the outskirts, But I do other things. I donate. I talk about things live. I share stuff. I do other things to try to make up for that, right? Like this. I'm talking about this now. Do not spend money November 25th to December 2nd. That is our nationwide blackout. It's our way to stick it to them because they can't get money if we're not giving it to them. Their billions come from us. Comes from our consuming the shit that they sell. Don't buy it anymore. We're so accustomed to getting everything we want. And I get that it's easier said than done. Like, there are some things you have to buy. There just are. And to keep the lights on, if you're, if you have your own business, there's certain things you have to have. And, but there are things that you can do. Not spending money for a few days, that's something you can do. And it will have a big impact. What we're trying to do is make these big corporations go down in flames. So they have to lower their prices. They have to think about people instead of just the shareholders. I know, I used to work for a company that has shareholders. It sucks. I don't like it. Decisions are made that don't have the people in mind, but the shareholders in mind. I don't like that. Shareholders should not dictate anything about a company. The people should. And now you're like, shareholders are people. Yeah, they're rich fucking people. They're rich people. Regular people. Billionaires should not be making the rules for our government. Billionaires should not be making the rules for our corporations. Billionaires should not be making rules at all. There should be no billionaires. And that includes Taylor Swift. No. You need to give all your money and spread it out. And before you come at me, you're like, she gives money to towns she travels in. Great. Of course, she writes it off on her taxes. Do you know that that is a tiny, tiny, tiny blip in the billionaire category? Bezos's ex-wife, I can't remember her name right now. It starts with an M. She's given, I think, $4 billion or something. Don't quote me on that. Like a ton of money. She can't give it away fast enough. And we have people wanting to accumulate more. Just more and more and more. It's not about artistic anything. It's about making more money. It's about staying relevant and doing all this crap for your what's the word I'm thinking of? It's optics. It's all optics. I'm tired of optics. I want honesty. I want authenticity. I want someone making decisions that doesn't have $1 billion in their pocket. Can we just get that? Until next time, peace and love to you all.